the title of this webinar it sounds sensational, but it's because it is. Add 40,000 SKUs and 1,700 brands to your vape shop or e-commerce site right now for free. And that's not an exaggeration, is it, Billy?
Not at all.
Awesome. So I will pass it off to you. Like I said, I'll go back one. Introduce yourself and Corbin if he's on, and then just tell me when to go next, and we'll go that way.
Yeah, you can go ahead and go to the next slide.
Well, you got to tell us a little bit of yourself, Billy.
Okay, well, it wasn't showing on my screen, but here it is now. So, I'm Billy. I'm the CEO of eSig Distributors. I have a strong entrepreneurial background. I actually started my first business when I was 13, and I've dealt with a lot of different verticals, everything from real estate to tech to finance, and even some food-related businesses. And I got involved with a business partner, Paul Davey, at the end of 2012 for a similar mission to Vibes, and that was to help solve problems for the vaping industry, which at that time was very much in its infancy. And while it's still maturing now, our whole goal here and my whole purpose as CEO of the company is to help drive problem solving for the industry through innovation and technology. And that leads into introducing Corbin, who's our CTO.
Hey guys, I'm Corbin. Been with the company since pretty much the very beginning. It's been almost 4 years now. I am one of the ones that implements a lot of this new technology that we work on, and been here, like I said, since the early days, alongside Billy and the rest of the team. All these new projects that we have going on are pretty exciting for us, and we're excited to talk to you guys today about them.
Perfect. Next slide.
Awesome.
Cool. So like I mentioned earlier, eSig Distributors was really started out of what was the Vapor Loft. I believe it was the third or fourth vape shop in Southern California. My business partner was in the pharmaceutical manufacturing business. He got introduced to vaping back in the days when there was really only cigalikes. And he smoked a pack a day for 27 plus years, and decided he was going to try and help others quit like he had. So he quit his day job, started the Vapor Loft. So not only are we really an online retailer and distributor, our roots really come from brick and mortar shops. So those of you out there that are running with and dealing with some of these frustrating retail issues, we feel your pain and we felt your pain, and our goal here is to continue to solve problems so you guys can be more successful. Really what we're known for right now are some of our retail sites, which are ejuices.com and eliquid.com, and our wholesale site, which is ejuices.co. And we're one of the original companies that came out and started the concept of drop shipping for vape products. When we originally did, or actually had the concept, it was back in the days that many of you may remember where everybody had a radius restriction, and so many of the brands were exclusive to certain distributors or distributors in different regions. So the whole concept of connecting a vape shop customer directly to the brand was one that was a little bit foreign to the market at the time, but we were frustrated as a distributor and seeing what was happening at a store level and also at a brand level in terms of the lack of transparency, the frustrations with ordering from multiple distributors, the amounts of paperwork and payments that were taking place, and just the overall lack of sophistication of the supply chain. And so with ejuices.co, our goal was to help solve that and make the vape shop store owner experience much better, and then also help the brands better understand really where their products were going. And because of that, we've developed out a really scalable and efficient distribution model. So all the products that we're talking about tonight, I just want to be clear that we actually stock all 40,000 of these SKUs in-house here. That will be fulfilled for both Powered By and ejuices.co direct. So I just want to make sure everybody's clear that these aren't shipping from each individual brand, and they're coming from us directly, and we're just about on tap to have same-day shipping every day as late as 4 p.m. Pacific time. So if you order before then, your orders will ship the same day. And like I mentioned earlier, our whole purpose in life is to solve problems with technology. We don't really think of ourselves so much as a vaping company as we do a technology company that helps facilitate vape products. And so without further ado, we'd like to talk to you a little bit more about ejuices.co-direct and powered by ejuices.com. Next slide, please.
Okay, so this is where I play the video for you guys.
Yeah, just real quick, this little explainer video is specifically for ejuices.co-direct, and the real difference between ejuices.co-direct and powered by ejuices.com is ejuices.co-direct is focused primarily on solving problems in the physical vape store, and powered by ejuices.com is for solving problems specifically for online e-commerce stores. So that's the main differentiator. So this is about ejuices.co-direct. Go ahead.
Awesome.
I don't know if you can hear it or not.
Can you guys not hear the sound?
Nope.
No sign, brother. No sound on this end.
Okay, I know why. Well, that's actually not something I can easily fix. That's not. How about I'll post that in the chat and they can watch. They can watch it for themselves. I'm sorry. There's actually no way for me to put the sound in through easily. Unfortunately, that's something we didn't foresee. I apologize about that, Billy.
No problem. But if you want to check it out, it's just a 1 minute explainer video. It's all the stuff we're going to be talking about tonight, and you can see it at ejuices.com or ejuices.co/direct.
So tell us what happens in the video. What are they explaining exactly?
They're basically explaining the issues that Bill, this vape shop owner, is experiencing in terms of, he's got this wide variety of supply of products, and how sometimes it's difficult to sell, every SKU and get throughput on every SKU due to the fact that there's so many new brands coming on the market and there's very little brand loyalty. And so Bill often gets stuck with, stale inventory or product that doesn't move. And sometimes he has customers that come in and ask for things that he doesn't carry because he only has limited shelf space and capital. So, Bill here in this case often loses out to customers, to other vape shops, or to places that sell online until he found this new ejuices.co-direct program. And now he's able to offer all these brands in store to his customers while still earning a great commission. And he doesn't lose that customer and continue to sell hardware and coils and keep them coming back into the shop.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's something we're going to get into a little bit later, is just that those pain points, if you're feeling them, you're not alone. And, as soon as we heard about this solution, that's why we brought them on. So I can go to the next slide.
Yep.
Awesome.
So we're all very familiar with the current situation and where we are in this vape industry. And based on our estimates and other experts in the space, people are saying that there's roughly about 5,000 e-liquid lines out there. So you can imagine typically each line has on average 3 flavors times 3 SKUs. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of different potential SKUs out there. And part of that issue is because there has been very little brand loyalty. But what you'll see, and the exciting thing, while we're happy to be working with all of you in the vape shops, is there is channel loyalty. So there are a lot of folks that really, really prefer to come in, see a smiling, happy face. They like the look or feel or ambiance of your store, and they want to continue to buy products through you. But as we all know, part of the issue is there's only so much shelf space, right? And in addition to that, cash flow in order to carry this many brands is really, really difficult. So even if you had the time, you wouldn't have the space. And if you had the space, you wouldn't have the time to make all this happen. So it's really, really difficult for a store to have this many products. And because of the fact that these so many new brands came on to the market and seem like they're continuing to come onto the market, it's very difficult as a store owner to understand which products you should be carrying. And so in addition to what we're talking about tonight, we have a ton of data in order to help drive what's actually moving in the market, whether it's, bottle sizes, strengths, price points, flavor preferences by region. We have the ability to help guide you down that path. And because of this hype and herd mentality, and especially what recently happened with the deeming regs, there were so many people that just came out and slashed prices at the wholesale level, not thinking about what that does to the retailers. And so by us holding inventory and us managing and maintaining pricing, we feel we could be helpful in this space to ensure that store owners don't feel that crushing blow when these brands do decide to take 60 ml bottles and turn them into 30 ml prices. So next slide, please. All right, like we mentioned before, the problem is really that vape shops and all of us really have limited amounts of space and capital. But the vapors in this industry really, really love selection. There's always something new. And with social media, they get to see these things as soon as you and I do. And so that demand starts, but it's very, very difficult because of a poor supply chain in the industry to actually have those products in a timely manner when your customers are asking for them. And given that we have our roots in Southern California, which in many cases was the birth of vaping, we have great relationships with close to 1,000 different suppliers. So we often have these products in our warehouse to ship right as they're hitting social media. So by us having those products and you using either ejuices.co direct or powered by ejuices.com, you will also have access to those products at no cost to you right out of the gate. And again, this industry, one of the great things about it, one of the frustrating things about it is up until recently, there's been very few barriers to entry. So that's made the competition extremely fierce. We've seen a lot of people just slashing prices. We've all seen retail online sites selling at wholesale prices, people trying to make a quick buck. Our whole goal here is the long-term longevity of this industry. And so when we set pricing, it's brands map, we stick to it, and we want to make sure that there's enough room and margin for all of us to continue to be successful and continue to allow our businesses to grow. Mentioned it earlier as well, but taking on new brands is a really, really tough decision. And I remember back in the days of the Vapor Loft, we would literally try every brand that came in the door. And after about a year in business, the sample pile just started overflowing out of our tech room closet. And we said, gosh, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be some more intelligence put into this decision-making process. And that's why we digitized our distribution platform early, so we could better understand what's really moving in the marketplace, what's truly popular and not just hype. And we can help translate that down all the way to the brick and mortar stores now. Go ahead, next slide. And so some of the consequences of these problems are that, as a business owner, you need to satisfy the customer demand, or you really risk losing that customer, even if it's not just for one sale, it might be for a lifetime. And the lifetime value of these customers is really, really important due to the nature of the product. If they don't continue to come into your shop or continue to come to your website, they're going to go somewhere else and find their products. So if you don't have these items in stock, or you don't carry them, you have the potential of losing your revenue, your profits, and it gets tougher and tougher to continue to operate your business. And the other thing we've seen and we experienced early on with the Vapor Loft too was when there was a new brand that was extremely hot and we did not have it, customers felt like we lost a little bit of our credibility, or at least our reliability, in being their go-to vape shop. So our goal here is to make sure that you don't lose those customers. You have access to the products you need at the price you need them when your customer wants them, and all with the thought of trying to reduce the overall risk to you while still making sure there's plenty of reward. Next slide. All right, so I mentioned earlier the two solutions that we're talking about are really ejuices.co direct, which is to satisfy in-store demand, and then we have powered by ejuices.com, which is to satisfy your online demand. So a little bit about ejuices.go direct and how it works. It's very, very simple. There's a quick sign-up process that you can do online at the link that Jesse added there. Once you're signed up, your account will get approved, and you basically can order these products on behalf of your customer from any web-enabled device. So you don't need a specific shopping cart. You can literally use anything that has internet, whether it's your phone, your computer, your laptop, a tablet, and you can place orders in that system. We have all 1,700 brands in there with some different sections that you can scroll through in terms of top selling, items that may be on sale. There's a whole new section tab, so you can go ahead and browse there. And we've also got it dialed down to, you can search in the upper bar. We tried to make it as Amazon-esque as possible. So given that we have a huge catalog, if your customer comes in and says, I'm interested in looking at a new strawberry flavor, you could type in strawberry or strawberry banana or strawberry cream, and you'll get served up all the brands and products that serve those. The other nice thing too to help educate everybody is we've taken all of our reviews and customer feedback ratings from our retail sites and included those on those products. So you can quickly search and see what's getting 2 stars versus 5 stars and what customers are actually saying about the product. So you don't have to figure out a way to sample or test each one of these. In most cases, there's some really, really good feedback there. I think collectively we have 20,000 plus reviews and feedback of products. So that should get your customer in the right direction really, really quickly.
And do those reviews also, can those be displayed on poweredbyejuices.com?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they can.
So that's huge. I hope everybody realizes how huge that is, because reviews are probably the most difficult thing to collect. And if you've got a lot of reviews, that means you're doing a really good job. But if you're like most and you don't have reviews, this is going to be a huge boost forward for you if you're starting your store, if you just want to expand it. So that, I don't know if you can comment on that and like what reviews can do for your website.
Yeah, it's social proof, right? And this is one of the things I love about the vaping industry is it's a very, very vocal group. Whether you do something good or do something bad, they will let you know about it. And so they also want to know what other vapors like or don't like. And that's why we've seen some of these brands come out of nowhere and come to become household names, is because of this social proof and other people giving their feedback in terms of what they like and what works and what doesn't. We just looked, it's close to 30,000 reviews. And the nice thing about that is it'll also keep people coming back to your site to when they hear about new products, coming back and looking and reading what other people have to say. It's when you're selling online, that's about as powerful of a tool as you're going to get.
Awesome. Are you ready to go to the next slide? I have it. I'm about to go back into presentation mode if you are.
Yeah, that's really well. I can talk a little bit about powered by as well. So the difference there is really direct is completely web enabled. You can do it from any internet device. There's no specific shopping cart or anything required to use that. We also do age verification in there as well as a backup. So God forbid someone at the counter forgets to, we're backing you up and doing it ourselves to make sure that we're all covered. And with powered by ejuices.com, which is the online setup, right now we have literally a one-click solution for those of you that are on Shopify. It's very, very simple to use. You have your Shopify store. You can continue to sell your own products. So if you have a store and you have your products listed online, a simple one-click integration through our mothership app in Shopify will give you an API key that allows you to display our products on your website. They look completely native. They look exactly like they're your own. All the branding on both of these does not come with anything e-cig distributors related, ejuices.com, eliquid.com related. It's either completely white labeled or left blank. So when your customer interacts through your website, not only will your site look like your brand, but the packaging they receive will not have anybody else's information on them. And then in addition to that, with powered by, you can actually choose and select which products you want to put online. So let's say 1,700 is too many and you feel like you're going to overwhelm your customers, or maybe there's specific brands that you don't want to support or that you do want to support. You can either hide those or display those at your discretion. And just real quick too, I see Lisa's asking a question, how quickly will customers receive their product? So if they order before 4 p.m. on Pacific time, they will ship same day. So we're shipping from Nevada now. So typically it's 2 to 3 days max. Some people are receiving it next day, but we offer the same level of service we would offer any of our own customers. So it's very, very quick, and the folks that are using it now have been very, very pleased, and the customer feedback has been awesome.
And that 4 p.m. cutoff time is 7 p.m. East Coast, right? So that's actually huge. A lot of vape shops are still open or open kind of late. And so what do you know about East Coast vape shops that are using direct or powered by?
They're loving it. The other thing to mention is we're actually shipping 7 days a week now, which a lot of folks are only doing the Monday through Friday. So that gives your customers a great thing to lean on, because not only are we shipping very, very late, in all cases on ejuices.co direct and most by powered by ejuices.com, that shipping is actually free. So we wanted this to be as close to an in-store experience as possible. We didn't want your customer to walk out and say, well, maybe it's the same price, but I still have to pay for shipping and wait. So, Saturday shipping, we're actually shipping on Sunday. It took us almost 4 months to convince the post office to come pick up on a Sunday. But they were kind enough to get a contractor to do that for us. So products will be moving pretty much 7 days a week now. Is it okay to go ahead and answer some of these questions that we're seeing in the sidebar here?
Yeah. Can I go to the next slide, and then I haven't published a link yet. Are you ready to talk about the offer?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to do that, and then the link that Billy mentioned a second ago, it should be popping up in your chat right now. So if you want to check it out and go sign up, Billy will. If you want to stop and ask some questions real quick too, that's probably a good time to stop. We will do a more extensive Q&A at the end, but if there's any pressing questions you want to answer, now would be a good time, and talk about what that means. What is a $10 bonus offer on your first order? What does that mean? And how are they going to profit from this? And what is actually the pay scale for this? It's a commission-based thing, as I understand. Is that right?
Yeah, so what we wanted to do is try and I'll back up too. We've done a lot of analysis in terms of utilization with the sell-through of products at a variety of levels, whether it's online or in-store. And in most cases, we see that shop owners or online sellers are used to making a keystone margin off their purchase. But what we're finding is that that's actually significantly lower due to the fact that there's bad stock, broken bottles, just the overall utilization is significantly lower, and you're not actually selling 100%. You're not getting 100% turnover. And we nailed that margin to really close to about 35%. And so what we were trying to do is get as close as we humanly could in terms of being able to offer these service, still being able to offer all these products. And so on both ejuices.co direct and poweredbyejuices.com, there's a 30% commission that's paid on the sale of those products. And that also, keep in mind, includes us eating the free shipping. So you won't have any additional expense on that as well. And your customer will be able to have access to these products at a very good price, and the store owners will be able to continue to earn a really, really good commission as well. So with this $10 bonus offer on your first order, is we really, really want to encourage people not only to get on the system, but to use the system. So when one of your customers comes in, either your brick and mortar store or your online store, and places an order with you, in addition to your 30% commission for your sale, we'll be throwing in an extra $10 when you make that first purchase on behalf of your customers. So you can sign up now at the link below, ejuices.co/direct, and I'll be happy to answer some of these questions. Just seeing here.
And so, Billy, that URL is if they want to go with Powered By or with ejuices.co direct. Though, if they sign up there, they'll be able to choose which one they want to sign up for, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
And I went through the process recently just to kind of see how it goes. And by the way, Corbin, I think you can hear me. He pretty much emailed me immediately. The customer service was incredible. And a little backstory that's relevant is I did have a Shopify vape store for a while. Got shut down because of the merchants, and I just didn't want to go through the headache of getting it set back up. But basically, I did have a Shopify store already set up, but I had to basically start it all up from scratch. Mm-hmm. And that was so I started this on Monday. By Tuesday, I was already set up with Monday night I started it. And by Tuesday, I was already set up with Shopify, a new Shopify store, with the poweredbyejuices.com. Everything's already set up, and I'm basically ready. I have a big 40,000 SKU store right now as we speak, essentially, and it took me less than 24 hours. So if you start this tonight, I'm confident that you'll have your store ready to go by tomorrow night. I mean, is that overstating it, or do you think that's possible?
No, that's how quickly it can happen. I mean, we've sat down with people at trade shows and right on the spot got them set up through Shopify. And just to clarify too, Shopify is where we started because that's what we ride on. So that one-click integration exists for there. If you have another shopping cart, we can actually still connect to you through an API call, which is at this point a little bit more work, but we're rapidly iterating to try and create the same level of service for other shopping carts as well. But right now, if you're on Shopify, it's significantly easier to do because of this technology we have in place.
So some of the platforms people were mentioning were WooCommerce, Volusion, obviously Shopify. There's BigCommerce people. Which Magento? Which one of those can you work with every one of those, or anyone that you can't?
Just about. Really, it comes down to the skill set of the folks running those carts, because we have an API that can talk to just about any other API out there. So as long as we can match those endpoints up together, we can connect and push orders back and forth.
And so somebody who's not tech savvy, which I think many people are not, what does the process look like for somebody who doesn't have Shopify?
So we actually have a ton of resources. I'm glad you bring this up. For anybody on this webinar right now, we've made a lot of mistakes in the past. When you go to a website and you look at it, it looks like it's put together, but it took us a lot of mistakes, a lot of trials and errors to get to this place. And because of that, we have a ton of resources in terms of, whether it be age checking, whether it be merchant processing, whether it be consultants for web design, you name it, we've dealt with it. And we're happy to continue to be a resource. Our team here, just in general, we're all workaholics because we love what we do. And so nothing makes us happier than to see other people be successful and to feel like we have a little bit of, we're a small piece of that, is all that, continues to make us drive really hard to solve these problems. So whatever it is, regardless of in-store, or online, we're happy to assist in any way, either myself or Corbin. We block out hours of our day to solve issues, and we have an amazing customer service team as well that can help in all facets of this process.
Yeah, and I'd like to attest to that too, because like I said, within minutes, within like, I don't even know when, it seems like he'd emailed me before I even finished the application. I had an email from Corbin, the CTO, which stands for Chief Technology Officer, is emailing you personally to help you with it. I mean, I don't know if he can email every account, but what I was just impressed with is that it's like nobody is below helping the people that are signing up, which I thought was very, very awesome.
Yeah, and we pride ourselves on that. We all answer our phone, we all answer our messages, and we're just really, really here to help and solve problems. And any way we can do that, we're happy to help 24/7.
There's a question here about when will an API plugin be available for WordPress and WooCommerce? I don't think we specifically talked on that. So Jesse, I'll let you decide who should answer that particular question that came from Eddie.
That'd be Billy.
So
Corbin.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. We can connect via API to pretty much any shopping cart right now. The one-click integration is only for Shopify. We have it on our product roadmap for others. I believe we're going to go to Magento next, and then most likely BigCommerce or WooCommerce following that. I don't have an exact timing, but it'll probably be in Q2 of next year or so. These things take quite a bit of time to make very simple. But Norm, one of the questions I saw that I think is really important to address that affects everybody is, I know there's a concern about us seeing who your customer is. We actually segmented this entire list into one offsite account for the specific purpose to ensure that that customer list is never accessed, never used. And we don't want anybody to feel like this is an effort for us to gain more online customers. We're actually thinking about this the exact opposite way of how can we help solve a problem for the vape stores, and not how can we get some additional online customers. It wouldn't make any sense for us to jeopardize our reputation as a company. And still being a fairly young guy, I want to continue in business for a long time. And the only thing I get to take from project to project is my reputation and my skill set. And I'm not going to do anything to ruin either of those.
Excellent. So stand by for that. That's going to be pending. And it looks like we have some attendees here from north of the border. The question is, are your services available to Canadian vape shops, eh?
Yeah, so currently poweredbyejuices.com is available. ejuices.co direct we're working on, and the only holdup there is really related to shipping and customs forms, and making sure that that information comes through properly. But Corbin and his team are actively working on that, and we're hopeful that we have a resolution within the next 30 days.
I had that question too, actually. Is Edward's question is, who's paying for the California Board of Equalization fees when they order on your site?
So this is a really interesting scenario, and one which we've spent a lot of time and resources trying to better understand, because there's one school of thought that says the retailer is actually placing an order in their store in the physical location in California, and therefore the product is subject to California state tax. However, there's another school of thought which we've had more feedback on that says really what is happening is that a store owner is just helping or assisting a customer place an online order for their benefit, and therefore it's not subject to the tax. So currently there is no California BOE tax paid, given that we're not in California. And this becomes not an issue just in California. This becomes an issue in states like Pennsylvania and others that are imposing wholesale excise taxes. And given that this isn't necessarily a wholesale transaction, the feedback has been that we are not responsible for collecting or remitting California state tax. However, as we know that this, both on a regulatory landscape and on a taxing landscape, is changing, it seems like, every week, whether it's a flavor ban, a new licensing law, something to do with PMTA or FDA restrictions. We're in the process of completely building out a full-blown compliance team in-house just to handle this, because as you can imagine, selling into 50 different states and in several different countries, this is a huge issue and on the forefront of our mind. And we always do our best to get proper legal advice from some of the best outside firms in order to help not only us, but our brand and retail partners navigate these very murky waters, which oftentimes really don't have precedent set to go off of. And we also reach out to a lot of these regulatory agencies and ask for feedback. And for those of you that have actually contacted some of these people, unfortunately, there seems to be some situations where it seems like it's, I don't want to say getting made up as we go along, but there isn't really a clear path or stance in terms of how each one of these states or municipalities is going to deal with these things. So currently that's where we sit with that. And if something changes and we get notified, otherwise we will deal with it with a legal and appropriate manner.
So when there's somebody, a vape shop that's ordering and they're more probably powered by more of a problem because it's international, are you guys kind of keeping them up to date on maybe some of the stuff that you're working on, some of the like taxes and things? Like, is it kind of a de facto sort of a regulations resource for people, or is it not really set up like that?
So right now, what our big picture goal is to help this industry with is data. And so we have some new and exciting things that are in beta right now in terms of new programs and visualization tools to help our customers truly understand what's moving and what's selling in both at a wholesale and retail level all over the world. And the goal there is just to allow people to make more informed decisions. And then in addition to that, like I mentioned earlier, we're always happy to be a resource for that data now, albeit it's somewhat manual, but we're happy to share that data. We're happy to share our resources because we do ship to a lot of places. We do deal with a lot of issues. And when there's new laws and regulations that come out, we're typically one of the first to be either notified or talked to about how the services or how the different jurisdictions would like us to deal with it through our services.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a huge resource. That's kind of not a benefit that you necessarily would or advertise, but something that kind of happens in the background automatically, huh?
Yep.
So let's go with James. Are you able to? I think he said he was having problems with his sound, but if you can log in, James, you've been kind of monitoring the questions more than I have. But do you have a question you want to answer, Billy, that you noticed?
There's a whole bunch of really good ones here. I'm not really sure where to start. Let's see.
I think I can start with Josh.
In terms of shipping, so one of the neat things too in ejuices.co direct is the store owner gets to decide where they want that product shipped. They could actually require that the product be shipped directly to their store, so the customer has to come back in to pick it up, which gives the opportunity for continuity sales, whether it's coils, batteries, a new tank. So we built in that flexibility. So if you want to allow your customer to have it shipped directly to their home, no problem. Or if you want to have it shipped directly to the shop to ensure that they actually come back and visit you, you do have both of those options.
So are people using this, Billy, if I could ask a question, as sort of a, what I think of that's really powerful for vape shop, online vape shops are upsells and cross sells. So, if you have a customer who's buying a certain type of piece of hardware or whatever, and that there's a cool cross sell that you could add to their cart that you currently don't have stocked on? Are they using that as a way to sort of build their bigger baskets and add in products much more easily?
Yeah. So for those specifically selling online, what we've seen so far in terms of customer feedback is, just like you said, people really like the fact that they have a lot of flexibility in terms of how they display the products, whether that's, creating a bundle, doing upsells, using maybe some of the new products that we have that they may not have received yet on their homepage to just demonstrate that they do have the latest brands. There's a multitude of ways that we've seen folks use this, and it's really, really exciting to hear the feedback that, in a lot of cases, cart values and average order values are going up because they do have the flexibility to not only have a variety of different flavors and brands, but also different sizes and nick strengths, which just allows everybody to be significantly more competitive.
So that's great. And by the way, that's something that is super powerful nowadays, is just being able to get those upsells.
And Jesse, one question too, I see a little bit of feedback on that I think would be helpful. So what's the process? What's the real world scenario of eJuices.co direct, and how does that translate, in the real world in terms of somebody working at the actual counter making the sale? So what we've seen is typically store owners leave a web browser open with their portal into eJuices.co direct, which is your own store account. And a customer comes in, and maybe you have a brand A, B, and C, and someone comes in and asks if you carry brand D. Now, instead of saying no, you can say, yes, I have it available in my virtual warehouse. And you can offer them the opportunity to have it shipped directly to them, or shipped to the store for in-store pickup. So you would simply check out like you do in an online setup. So you put that product in the cart, you pick the nicotine strength, bottle size, and quantity. You'll see in there we'll have it's a live inventory feed, which is updated right now about every 10 to 15 minutes. So it's fairly accurate. And you would take the customer's information down right there at the store. You input their shipping address if you're shipping it to them, their name, and you go ahead and check them out using either their credit card, and we've actually seen in some cases where store owners would prefer, if somebody's paying cash, the store owner actually puts their credit card in on behalf of them, and that order gets sent to us. And if you've uploaded in your account page your store's logo, that package will get printed out here with your store's logo and packing slip on it, shipped same day directly to your customer or to the store. And who's ever managing the store at the time can contact the customer and let them know they can come pick up their item.
Awesome. And how do fulfillment emails work?
So all that's automated and branded. So if all you have to do is upload your logo, and then that goes into our system. So whether it's tracking or thank you for your order receipt, all that will happen automatically from our end with your branding on it. So if it's Joe's Vape Shop and you send us your logo, customer places an order, they get an email saying thanks for placing your order on Joe's Vape Shop. And same thing with shipping. It'll say your order has been shipped from Joe's Vape Shop. Here's your tracking number. And you're all set to go. So we've tried to take as much of the legwork as possible and make that customer feel like all we are is an extension of you in your own virtual warehouse.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Before we continue, I just want to let everybody know that Norm is the official host of this whole thing, and he's left his computer kind of just sitting there. So if his computer goes to sleep or something happens with his internet connection, it's possible he might lose connection. Just want to give everybody a heads up, but we're going to stay as long as people are willing to ask questions. So I'm kind of perusing. If you see one, Billy, then you can go forward. We're not too we're not trying to organize them specifically.
Yes. Yeah. So just to be clear too, in terms of flexibility of the site, you have the ability to mark pricing up, mark pricing down. And we did that specifically because what we didn't want to happen is, say you're carrying a Cosmic Fog and you're selling it at $22 in store, and the online MSRP is supposed to be $24. We didn't want somebody to buy that same product from you and feel like they were going to be charged more from getting it through your virtual warehouse, so, or less in some cases. So you have the ability to set that as you please, and go ahead and do that. And then also for those using powered by ejuices.com online, you do have flexibility in terms of pricing there. You also have a lot of control if you want to update your own product descriptions. You can do that. You can change pictures out there. There's a ton of flexibility, and we could get really, really into the weeds in terms of how many different things you can do. Or you can just automate the whole thing. So if there's a price drop for the brand and we update that across the platform, your store, if the right buttons pressed, will automatically update the price for you in real time, and you don't have to worry about it.
The e-cig distributors products are free to sign up for. You're just paying for, you're getting a commission for what they sell, and so it's there's no actual cost to set up, other than there could be some costs if you don't have Shopify, but that's just because you might need to do a web an API or some custom coding. So I just need to step away for just a second. Billy, do you have a question that you were eyeing?
Yeah, I can keep going too. And to that point, also too, there's no really long-term commitments to this. We wanted to give our online and offline partners as much flexibility as they need to be successful. And hopefully this will be a tool of success for you. But if for any reason it's not what you were hoping for, you find you don't have a need for it, there's no upfront cost, there's no long-term commitment. And this is really a paid for performance type model. And we're also happy to, as we continue to grow as a company and as a service, we always appreciate different feedback from users and from your customers in terms of what we could do to better enhance the overall experience. Let's see, let's find some other questions. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through some of these questions, looks like a bunch of them have gotten cut off on my end.
I want to know where they can see all the products.
Yeah. Oh, so if you want to see which products are available through the program, if you go to poweredbyejuices.com, there's a whole catalog there, which is a live catalog. So you can peruse there and see exactly what products are online, what's available on both platforms. So this would be for in-store and online as well. And then in addition to that, we're always updating our inventory. And on both of these, there's nothing you'll have to do on your side. It'll just be automatically updated as our platform updates itself. Currently, as I mentioned before, it's roughly on a 10 to 15 minute cadence. And the other thing too, by using this platform, I want to make sure everybody understands there's other folks out there that say they're doing drop shipping, and it's a very, very manual process. So as an example, you would take an order on your website, then you would personally have to reach out to them, contact them, and make sure they're going to send the order. And a lot of times that doesn't have inventory stock, or pricing's off, or something gets lost in translation. Our whole goal was to automate as much of this as possible. So on both systems, when your order is placed, there's nothing else you need to do. And if you're selling online and a purchaser buys one of your products and one of our products, all that will send to us is just the one product that we need to ship to your customer. And therefore, there's no confusion. We're not seeing what else you're selling in your store. It's just a very, very simple process. And we can also, Corbin and myself can walk you through best practices of how to notify your customers, specifically online, that those two items may not ship together. But again, because we're shipping for free, there is no additional cost to you or to your customer for these mixed cart scenarios.
Awesome. So James is kind of trying to organize these. Do you understand this question, Gerald? Can my third party work directly with you to get the API or integrated into our open cart store?
Yeah, definitely. So we do this all the time. All of us have our core competencies in terms of what we're working on, and we experience that whether it's an internal web team or external web team that wants to take part in our services, we work friendly with everyone out there. And so we've got those skill sets in-house and are happy to work with third parties, whether it's a Shopify Plus partner or one of their experts. We deal with that all the time, all the way down from designers to app developers to merchant processors and everything in between. So we're happy to do that.
Okay. How can Dusty, she's curious to know what the average retail price for a 100 milliliter bottle through the services is. Can she just go down to your retail site and that's your price?
Yep. Yeah, you can just go on to poweredbyejuices.com and see the whole catalog there. And that will display every bottle size that is available out there, as well as the pricing.
Awesome. And so Nick just wants to say, wow, I've been looking for this for 3 years. He even flew it to LA to meet with Warehouse, and he's like just excited. And I personally talked to Nick. He's a really smart guy. He'll be a good customer for you, I'm sure. So my question, and this is something that I'm kind of curious about myself, is how some distributors are criticized for having retail arm. How do you guys respond to that? If that's something, how do you deal with that sort of criticism of well, why should I buy from a wholesaler who's got a retail arm?
Yeah, so we get this a lot, and really, if you take a step back and think about what our real mission is solving problems for the vape industry. When we got started early on, there were no websites out there that carried an Amazon offering of e-liquid. So not only are we solving problems for retail shops, we're also solving problems for the consumers. And we also have several other degrees. I mean, we actually sell to other distributors. We have a program that helps distributors better understand what's moving in the marketplace. So it's really a multi-tier approach. And we feel that if we're adhering to best business practices and have a long-term approach that isn't to go out and undercut the market, destroy the industry's reputation, and steal customers from people, we feel that, our social contract with, everybody, every stakeholder in the vape industry is to, solve problems on their behalf. And that goes to customers. There's customers in a lot of rural areas that don't have access to vape shops. And we feel as, we help to get this new disruptive technology into the marketplace that, some people can't afford to drive 80 miles each way to go to a vape shop. And if you look at our site in the past, it's really to go out, help brands sell products, help consumers get products, help wholesale customers understand what the products are they should move. And in order to do that properly, we need to understand the entire supply chain. So that goes from brands to distributors to wholesalers and to retailers and eventually to customers. And so that breadth of knowledge helps us create programs like this that solve problems for everybody. And that's really what we're here to do.
Right. And I knew that's what you're going to say. I just that has come up, and I just want to vouch for Billy and the entire team over there that they've been the best people to work with, and we wouldn't be on this webinar with them if we didn't vouch for their basically for their credibility, because they've been a huge help to vape shops and the entire vape industry. What is the average margin for Powered By? Can you answer that?
Yeah. So typically, depending on what setup's required, for those that typically require us to do a lot of API integration, we've been at 25%. But for anybody that's on this webinar, we're offering 30% across the board. So whether it's direct or poweredbyejuices.com, we're able to do 30% because of this opportunity here. And so it's a solid margin. Like I mentioned before, when you look at utilization and what this does, plus we're eating the free shipping, it's a really, really competitive rate. And I think it'll do really well for everybody.
Okay. Brett Langford. Good to see you, Brett. I talked to him the other night for like 4 hours. He's a good guy. So I think I don't see any questions that are burning. And if somebody had asked a question that didn't get answered, maybe got buried in the chat. We had a lot of questions. So this is your final call for questions. And just as a reminder, actually, we'll do this last one. I don't know if you can answer this, Billy, but what would you coach a shop to say exactly to a prospect who comes in and asks for a brand that they don't have? Like what is the process that practically, what's the best practice?
What we've seen works really, really well is obviously people understand when they're in your shop that you're limited in terms of shelf space. So what we hear a lot of people saying is, actually, I don't have that in stock in the store right now, but I do have it available to you for my virtual warehouse. Would you like that shipped here for in-store pickup, or would you like it shipped directly to your house? We find that that's the easiest. People don't seem to question it at all. And the fact that it's, shipping from Nevada or from down the street doesn't seem to make a huge difference. People seem to really, really enjoy the service. And in most cases, unless somebody's completely out of juice and needs their nick fix, that it gives you a good opportunity to sell something in store and maybe actually get a larger cart value by offering them something you do have in the store and also something available online. I also see a question here too about managing returns. So we offer the same return policy that to your customers as we do to ours. So we've seen in every circumstance, because we have no branding on our package, if there's an issue, maybe the customer ordered the wrong strength or it wasn't exactly what they were hoping for, they can just bring that back to the store, and the store owner deals with us directly, and we'll make sure that the store owner and the customer are happy.
Awesome. What about support questions while we're on that topic? How is that handled?
So we have a team of great customer service reps here. Both myself, Corbin, and the entire tech team are on the computers and phones all day long to answer questions. And we always say there's no such thing as stupid questions. And so, we're always here to let you ask away and help you just do everything we can to help be a part of your success.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Luis. I think we will probably call it at that point. I don't see any burning questions. And if you scroll down in the chat, you'll see a bunch of contact information for James, for Billy, for Corbin, for me, for Norm. We are an open book. I'm giving you the go ahead to email me any question at all. And a reminder that I can give you an hour consulting on your e-commerce site. If that includes helping you set up Shopify in this way with e-cig distributors, then I'd be happy to do that for you as well. So with that said, Billy, do you have anything to say on the way out?
No, just again, we appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the vaping industry and help solve problems. We have got a lot of new and exciting things still in the works to help store owners with a whole new POS set up, as well as hopefully some easy, accessible, real-time data here in the coming quarter. So we appreciate Vape Mentors and Vibe giving us this opportunity to talk about this service. And please feel free to email us or call us anytime. We're here to help.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for your time tonight, and thanks everyone for joining.